So welcome to the monastery. Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Matuš. I'm coming from Slovakia, which is in the eastern part of Europe, and it's been maybe third time I'm in Vietnam, but the first time I'm in a monastery like this.
So how old are you?
I'm 30 years old.
How do you know about the teacher?
The teacher. So
Yeah,
the Thông Lạc was introduced to me by my Vietnamese girlfriend, maybe around 1 year ago. Yeah, after she knew him for maybe 3 years, almost 3 years.
1 year.
But 1 year. No, but you knew for 3 years.
Okay.
So I know about the teacher for 1 year, and since then I've been only reading his English translation that's on a website because I don't speak Vietnamese, I don't understand. So for me, the only available things were just English translations that I found so far. That's my source of information of the teacher.
What is your impression when you start to know about the monastery and also the teacher?
So for me, actually the point where I learned about the teacher was the point where I learned about the origin Buddhism. And for me, it was very important because until then I knew about Buddhism as only a developed Buddhism, about the temples. For us in the Western world, when you say Buddhism, it means temples, insects, people praying in the temples, and I didn't know about the difference between the origin and develop. So for me, our teacher and the whole idea of original Buddhism came to me at the same time, maybe 1 year ago, and I was amazed by the idea, and it changed my life completely, I think.
When it comes to original Buddhism, so what do you think? Like you want these ideas, original Buddhism? Do you think you're gonna practice the method, or you just try it at the research to just broaden your horizon, or you gonna put it into practical?
So for me, the original Buddhism became the part of my life. It's what I do, and I follow the 5 rules in my everyday life. And yeah, I think that so far I didn't find any other more interesting philosophy to have in life and to get by. So for me, I think this will be the only way in my life to follow, because I think that's the right path, not only for me, but also for others, animals, and for everyone in the world, and people around me especially.
How long have you been being a vegan?
So I've been vegan since 2 years. It started as a basically experiment because I wasn't aware of what vegan means. I didn't know the difference between vegan and vegetarian. But after talking to one of my friends who has been vegan for 30 years, he explained what is the philosophy about. And I was basically so hooked that I tried to get as much information as possible to learn about this the most. And after 1 month of gathering the information, which during that month I was already vegan, I decided there is no way back, and this is the right way in life.
So you have been being a vegan, but when did you start being a vegan because of the animals?
Oh, because of the animals. It was right from the very beginning, where I realized that it's the only sustainable way of living that you can have in this life, and it goes hand in hand with the animals. Yeah, I think the realization came after the fact that you have option to go to the supermarket and buy meat or buy plant-based stuff, and you can actually choose. And you have the ability to choose the food that haven't been suffering for animals. So I think I've been here for the animals vegan since the very beginning.
You have been knowing about the teacher for 1 year. So what has changed since you know about the teachings, the method and everything? Like about your relationships with other people, your health, everything like that?
Okay. So the teacher was a door for me for the origin Buddhism, and through the teachings I learned about the ideas and all the principles and all the methods you have to obey in life in order to be at peace with yourself, so you can be with peace with everyone else around you. And these teachings help me realize that this is the right way. So you could say that the teachings of our master changed completely the way how I approach the relationships with people around me. And yeah, and I follow the 5 principles. So that on itself changed life completely, I think.
Maybe you can give one more example when you follow the 5 rules.
Example. So, for example, I in Eastern Europe or in a Western world in general, the alcoholism is much bigger addiction compared to the Asia, and yeah, because of apparent reasons. And for us, for example, it's pretty common to go for a drink almost every day, and everyone drinks constantly. Alcohol is a crucial part of our life.
Yeah.
And it was very hard to get off it because there are huge negatives coming from drinking alcohol every day. And actually, when I stopped because of original Buddhism to drink alcohol, I realized that how bad this life choice was to even start. But luckily, I was able to get off the alcohol, and not only alcohol, but also drinking caffeine and all the addictions slowly. I think because of the original Buddhism and the teachings of our master, I'm getting slowly rid of all the addictions, so my mind is a little bit more pure, so I can concentrate on having a good life.
Is there any struggle when you follow the 5 rules?
The struggle.
Like the method that you try to...
The methods. Luckily for me, I'm kind of an extremist in this. Meaning when I get to know, when I think about an addiction and I realize I have the rational arguments for an addiction to be bad, I can switch from not using this substance, for example, coffee or drugs, like whatever, alcohol, what is it? I can switch in an extreme way from one way to another. And that was my case, that luckily, when I realized that these addictions are not good for me, I could change in one day. So I consider it as my strength that I can do this.
Seeing you follow the 5 rules, is there anything that brings benefit for yourself, but the surrounding is like when your job, your health, your relationship, is there any like striking example that you want to share?
Yeah, I think one of the difference that I can spot in my life is to be aware of every time in my life, during my life, when I sense that there's something wrong. For example, I would not steal exactly, but I would, for example, would say some bad things about another person, or I would I don't know, sense that something is wrong, that in my previous life, without knowing the 5 rules, I would be able to just do it and that would be it. But since I knew about the 5 rules, I'm much more present in this moment, and I can realize that at this moment that this is it. I need to be strong, so I don't do the thing. And for me now, I don't have to look for energy to do it. I can just be aware that it's a good thing not to do the stuff.
So outside the language barrier to approach the method of the teacher, is there any struggle that you find?
The struggles.
Yeah, any struggle outside the language barrier?
Well, there is not so many teachings I can get from the English translation. It's only a few, but they are the most basic. And in there, I didn't see any struggle. Everything is well understood. I think it's a good translation for me. So no problem.
Thank you for the interview and answer all of the questions. We really appreciate your questions, and we wish you a good life by following the 5 rules. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you for the 5 rules and the teachings.
Okay.